new Midlife Man. It's like the reboot. It's almost like 2.0. Starting again. And I know I look very, very different at the moment. Got a beard. Didn't have a beard before, but I've also dropped about 20 kilos of muscle. So it's been an interesting couple of months. It's been a couple of months since we last shot any Midlife Man. Scotty and I both got injured, unbelievably. Or really, it's not unbelievable. I think we both knew it was on the cards. Probably happened a little sooner than what we were expecting, what we thought. I didn't get past my second surf lesson before I really hurt my knee trying to run. Scotty didn't get past his warm-up for his BJJ. Actually, it wasn't even his warm-up for BJJ. It was just a little sprawl drill for this show to kick it off. So
I would like to take a moment to reflect on Luke's knee injury. While it's very unfortunate that people get injured, I do remember a snide comment or two about my injury taking place during a BJJ warm-up. Luke's injury, and I'm quoting him, took place because he was running in a park with grass a little bit longer than usual. And I do believe that's a fairly accurate representation of the length of the grass. Now, he will have you believe that he was leaping out of the grass, and I know you're all envisioning a gazelle bounding through the plains of Africa, leaping elegantly. Let's be honest, Luke, you're a 40-year-old man who's lumbering along through a park. I doubt that you were really leaping that high to clear the grass. Mate, enough of the blame game. Don't be go suing the local council for not mowing their lawns to an appropriate length. Mate, you hurt your knee, you're an old man, you can't run through grass. Let's accept this, let's rehab, let's move on, alright? Enough of the blame game.
here we are, we're ready to kick off again, and Scotty and I are as committed as ever. I think our injuries have progressed pretty well, and we're at a point where we are finally ready to begin trying to learn our new skills each. So, injury update. Well, my injury, I just really was very surprised by my injury. I mean, I guess you can never expect any injury to happen. They're unexpected, they're accidental in nature. The funniest thing from season 1 when we started shooting Midlife Man, I mean, it's got to be both of our injuries. I can't say one more than the other. It is pretty funny, it is pretty humorous. Two middle-aged males who are trying to encourage other middle-aged males to get physical, to try new activities, and we both get injured amazingly quickly. And the whole show is about us trying to inspire others to do the same. It doesn't make sense, but it's kind of funny, isn't it? And that is without a doubt the funniest part of season 1 has been us both getting injured so soon. And to have injuries as well that have hung around for a good couple or 3 months or so, that's funny. I can see the humour in that. It was a lot funnier when it was just Scotty who was being injured, and I would have been able to tease him the whole way through this, but now we've both been injured. I can't really tease him without teasing myself, so that is the funniest part. The good news was I didn't need surgery. I didn't need any surgery on the cartilage. There was no tears. The bad news is that if you don't need surgery on a cartilage injury, it can really extend the duration of the recovery because there's very, very poor blood supply to that structure in the body, cartilages. So because of that, it's taken many, many months. So it's about 3 months now post-injury, and I'm able to put weight on my knee. I'm able to do pretty much everything but run. And you might think that doesn't really sound recovered, that I have recovered from the injury, but I can absolutely guarantee you I've made a huge recovery from what I was doing, and I'm at a point now where I'm ready to get back into some surf lessons. I can pretty much load up the knee in most positions, so I could be squatting down on it, I can kneel on it, I can do some light jumping on it. It is just running that's the only activity I cannot do. That's pretty good considering that I'm surfing. I don't really need to be running at all, so the injury now is about 90-95% recovered, and I am ready to go. First step, if I'm going to buy my own surfboard today, it's got to be how the heck am I going to be able to transport it around? And look, I really didn't want to deck out the four-wheel drive straight away with permanent roof racks, so I've decided to go for these babies here. Ocean and Earth quick racks. I'm going to try to put it on the four-wheel drive. And it's time to get a wetsuit and a surfboard all in one day. Very nervous about these purchases, I'm not going to lie, very nervous. Especially since I've been so unsuccessful at starting my attempt at surfing, investing some money in equipment, when I still can't surf. I'm putting roof racks on a four-wheel drive when I don't even have a surfboard. So yeah, this is a very testing time to see how motivated I am to actually complete this and get it done. Here we go, putting roof racks on a four-wheel drive, or temporary foam roof racks, to pretend that I'm going to attempt this in my own brain so that I actually get into it and get started and make this happen. So here we go, roof racks going on. Roof racks, or temporary roof racks, on. I don't know if they will handle too much high speed driving with any surfboards on top. Luckily, I've only got to drive a few minutes to the beach, so time to buy a wetsuit, time to buy a surfboard. I really can't believe I'm doing this, especially since I'm just not surfing yet. But here we go, here we go, here we go. Dragging the family out on a Sunday to buy a surfboard and a wetsuit. Not surfing yet. I've only had a couple of lessons. Feel like a bit of an idiot buying a surfboard and buying a wetsuit considering I'm not surfing, but there's only one way to learn to surf. How's that, Tonio? What's Daddy got to do? Lots of
practice.
Lots of practice. So time to get a surfboard, get a wetsuit. I believe the term that gets thrown around is a kook. That's someone who has no idea what they're doing in the surf. It's pretty much me. So here we go.
Put it down through the net.
Give up, man.
It's good to be back. I'm very much looking forward to still pursuing my goals. The first season saw more setbacks than forward progression, which was a good little learning experience for me. So as far as my injury goes, had the grade 3 adductor tear. Look, it took a lot longer to heal than what I thought it would. On my initial consultation with Ben, he said you're looking at 6 to 8 week injury. Look, it took me a good 4 months or more to get this thing back to where it felt really good. And by the time it felt good, I had a ridiculous workload leading into a bodybuilding competition season with a lot of my clients. And then we got locked down immediately thereafter. So I never ever got back on the mats post-injury.
How do I think Scotty will go in season 2, or this new start of Midlife Man? He's going to have some challenges initially because of the restrictions that we're all facing at the moment. Scotty lives in Melbourne, and Victoria as a state have some really severe restrictions at the moment. Learning the skill of BJJ at home by yourself in the garage, I think that pretty much speaks for itself, doesn't it? I've been very, very lucky up here on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. We've been able to exercise outdoors the whole time. So, whilst I feel Scotty's in a pretty bad position because he's stuck at home, I don't necessarily feel that I'm in too much of a better position, just due to the fact that I don't want to speak too soon about the next few months until I actually get them done, because if I got injured again, I would be absolutely devastated, and I just do not want to get another injury.
But at this point, I have achieved my goals with my adductor. It is as strong on the torn side as it is on the good side. It's as mobile on the torn side as it is on the good side. And I would dare to say it is stronger and more mobile than it has ever been before. And that's what you have to achieve if you're rehabbing an injury. You don't want to be stuck with a ongoing weakness or an ongoing tightness in that area, because that's going to make it more likely, more predisposed to injury again in the future. So if you do get an injury, seeking treatment and rehabbing it is absolutely critical. I am really visualizing actually being on the mats and rolling in a tournament. I'm very competitive by nature, and I think that needs to be my motivation. So I look forward to achieving that goal. I still have every intention of achieving that goal, even though my first steps into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu were an unmitigated disaster. I do believe I have a teacher that looks down upon me and thinks that I am just some wussy meathead that has no intentions of following through, because I've only met George a handful of times and I have failed to really do anything in the BJJ world. So I want to impress George, I really do. I hold him in very, very high regard. He is someone whose career I followed in the UFC. Who was a very successful UFC fighter. I can't remember, he had a 5 or 6. At the moment, the gyms are not open. No gyms are open. BJJ gyms are not open. More traditional commercial gyms are not open. So that poses a challenge in itself. I'm in my garage at the moment, and this is where I spend a lot of time, because this is where I do all my training. So there's some new challenges for season 2, and as a result, I have to go about things in a slightly different way. My training itself, I've reverted back to my bodybuilding roots, and I do a lot of resistance work, but I don't have a whole heap of equipment to do it with. So I've got a pair of adjustable dumbbells, some bands, and a suspension trainer. And I'm finding I'm having really, really effective workouts with that. So it just goes to show that with little creativity and a little bit of intelligence in the way you go about things, you can have a really good workout with minimal equipment. And there's a lot of people in similar circumstances to me at the moment. We're in the COVID-19 sort of social distancing, quarantine time frame. So that's posing itself to be an interesting challenge from a training standpoint. Coming up next on Midlife Man.
Look at that, it's sweat. That's just from getting a wetty on. This wetty is so, dude, it's absolutely, how's it feel?
Sweaty.
It does feel sweaty, doesn't it, eh? Alright, well, first wetsuit in about 20 years. Don't know how I'm going to get it on early in the morning, but let's go. Let's see there, by the looks of it, straight ahead, surf, sub, sail.
Okay, so what can I do for you?
Here's my first surfboard.
And you weigh?
About 100 kilos.
Right, that's a challenge.
As for the BJJ itself, well, yeah, look, I am very, very limited with solo drills at the moment. I plan on just perfecting a few solo drills, or maybe not perfecting, being somewhat competent at some solo drills, and then expanding on those drills from there. I think I'll get there in the end, absolutely. I have every intention of rolling in my white belt tournament and not making a fool of myself. I plan on winning an event. I don't plan on being the champion Australian white belt by any means. I plan on rolling in an intra-club, intra-gym, low level white belt tournament and not losing every match. That's pretty much my goal. And hopefully that will be enough to provide me with a little extra motivation, a little bit of excitement, and a real goal to work towards. And hopefully it'll mean that George no longer looks at me like the meathead that can't train through a minor injury.